My lady.
What is happening, gamers? This is Bradley here, and welcome back to another episode of
Buggin' Bradley,
where you get to bug me with your questions and I get the magnificent privilege of answering them. The first question comes from Baby Seal on YouTube, and he asks, are you a weeb? Daniel Martinez on Twitter asks, what game series are you most interested seeing a full 3D game from? Kirby, Yoshi, etc. Without thinking about it too much, I'm gonna have to go with my favorite green dinosaur, Yoshi. He works well in a 2D setting, but he also works well in a 3D setting. I mean, he was in Galaxy 2 and he was pretty awesome in that. I mean, he's got his tongue and he has different power-ups that he can use, like the fiery dash, the light bulb, and the balloon thingies. He was also in Sunshine, but I never played that one, so I can't comment on that. But yes, let's go with a 3D Yoshi game, because Yoshi is the man. Sir Banjo on Twitter asks, what comes after 7? Your bedtime! Jonah Lawson on Twitter wants to know, have you ever heard of the game Undertale?
What is Undertale? Never heard of it.
PK Swagstorm on Twitter wants to know, what game would you most like to see ported to 3DS or Wii U? Well, one franchise that I have wanted to play is the Dark Souls series. So what if they brought Dark Souls 2 over to the Wii U? I mean, it was on the Xbox 360, so the Wii U should be able to handle it. But since that game is kind of old news now, what if they brought the upcoming Dark Souls 3 over to the NX? Caleb on Twitter asks, who is your favorite Mushroom Kingdom princess? Goombella. Look her up, she is one mighty fine mushroom. Kristen Scott on Twitter asks, tell me a joke. I totally did not get this on Google. Why was the Energizer Bunny arrested? He was arrested on a charge of battery. Stompa on Twitter wants to know, what game are you more excited for? Mario Tennis Ultra Smash or Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival? This is actually pretty easy because local party games are dead to me. I have so many friends who come over to my house to play games that we just don't have time for party games. So I'm more excited for Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. They're both towards the bottom of my not excited list, but Mario Tennis takes the cake here. Jason on Twitter asks, peanut butter or jelly? No contest. Peanut butter is the ultimate winner, and don't even try to tell me otherwise. Peanut butter's got that protein. HS00129 on Twitter wants to know, what is the game you've regretted most buying at full price? This is a good question, and one game that does come to mind is one that's a bit more recent. It was a few years back, but still, it's a Wii U game, and that is the Wii U launch title Scribblenauts Unlimited. At the time, I had never played a Scribblenauts game before. The whole concept of spawning any item that you wanted sounded really awesome, but once I played it, it just didn't click with me. I did trade it back in and got some money back for it, but still, I bought it at full price, so I'll go with that one. Another game that I have that comes to mind is another launch title, this time for the 3DS, and that is Pilot Wings Resort. Yes, I bought it at full price, and it is actually fun, and it shows off the 3D effect really well, but it's super duper short. It doesn't feel like a $40 game. Toon Squid on Twitter asks, any tips on becoming a reviewer, since I plan on starting soon? Well, the first tip is having decent equipment, like a good camera, a good microphone. For capturing gameplay, you should get like an Elgato or something like that, and if you want to do 3DS reviews, you should probably get a 3DS capture device. With all this stuff put together, it can be pretty darn expensive. Some other tips include being consistent with uploads, being persistent, because it can take a while for people to actually catch on to you, and also don't be dull. People don't want to sit through a video where you sound like this. Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about a game called Super Mario Maker. It's a really cool game. You can build stuff, like build a level, and you can put like Bowsers in it, and put like double Bowser, because you can put them on top of each other. And there's also like Cheeps and like the water levels and stuff. No, maybe you can also put them in the lava too, like flaming Cheeps. And also there's like Bill on Twitter wants to know, Microsoft or Sony? Everything, not just Xbox One and PS4. Well, Microsoft hasn't been in the console market for nearly as long as Sony, so I'm gonna have to pick PlayStation, even though I've never owned a PlayStation device in my life. I have owned an Xbox and Xbox 360 though, which is kind of ironic. Johnny Silva X on Twitter wants me to do the craziest MLG video or segment that no one has ever seen. James Yoder on YouTube asks, hey Bradley, have you ever played the Golden Sun games? Yes, I have played Golden Sun. I have never played the DS game, but I have played some of the original and the sequel. I did play the sequel first because back in the day my friend had it for the Game Boy Advance and I borrowed it from him, and at the time I didn't like JRPGs because of the slow-paced battles and random encounters. I would run from like all the battles and I would gain no experience, and then I got into a specific boss and I couldn't beat him and I didn't feel like grinding, so I gave up on that. I also have the original Golden Sun on the Wii U and I've only played a tiny bit of it. And that's basically my experience with Golden Sun. Snow Villagers 231 on YouTube wants to know, what is your favorite boss and favorite temple in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time? For my favorite boss in Ocarina of Time, I think I'm gonna pick Ganondorf. I like playing tennis with the electric ball. It gets pretty tense when it keeps going faster and faster. As for my favorite temple, let's go with the Forest Temple. It has a really creepy vibe to it with the music, it's really ominous, and also I like the twisting corridors. That's a pretty neat little touch. Leopoldo Rincon on YouTube asks, what's your HR in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate? And out of the 14 weapons, what's your favorite weapon? Whoops. As for my favorite weapon, I'm going to pick the Switchblade, because that's the only weapon I used in 4 Ultimate. Necromancer ADR on YouTube asks, best multiplayer FPS? Please say Time Splitters. I do own Time Splitters too, but I think my favorite multiplayer FPS is the Halo franchise. More specifically, Halos 1 to 3, because I haven't played the other ones. I played a ton of local multiplayer, and also I played a lot of online multiplayer in Halo 3. Joshua Cook on YouTube asks, do you think Metroid Prime Federation Force is going to sell well? No, not really, even though I don't think the game looks bad. It's just there's so much stinking hate for the game that it sounds like no one's gonna buy it. I don't know, maybe when the reviews come out and it gets a bunch of 10 out of 10s, people will go out and buy it. If anything, it's gonna sell decently. Noah on YouTube asks, what amiibos would you like to see the most in the Zelda Tingle? Turding Turtle on YouTube asks, is Reggie controlled by the lizard people? Yes he is. For all these years they've been hiding in plain sight and we just haven't noticed it. Davis Burke on YouTube asks, Super Mario Maker or Splatoon? Well, if I had a decent internet connection that could run Splatoon, I might choose Splatoon. But since I don't, I'm gonna choose Super Mario Maker. Epic Samurott on YouTube asks, do you play the Skylanders games? That's a big fat nope. Punk Colts on YouTube asks, what is your favorite cartoon? I'm gonna pick SpongeBob, but I haven't seen a new episode for like the past 6 years, so I'm talking about old school SpongeBob. Cole Studeman on YouTube asks, do you play OSU? Okay Google, what is OSU?
According to Wikipedia, OSU is a freeware rhythm game originally
Nope!
from Microsoft.
Dan Doman 8 on YouTube asks, have you got a good sense of rhythm? Also, what's your favorite rhythm game? If we're talking about video games, I've got a pretty good sense of rhythm, and my favorite rhythm game is probably Guitar Hero 2. And the final question comes from Exo Paradigm Gamer on YouTube, and he wants to know, how many hot dates do you get? I usually like them room temperature. And that will bring us to the end of the 19th episode of
Bug and Bradley.
If you liked what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up, add it to your favorites, and all that good stuff. And if there is a question you want to ask me for the next episode of Bug and Bradley, leave that in the comment section below. Or you can ask me on Twitter by using the hashtag BugandBradley. That way it's easy for me to find them. But I will talk to you all later in the next video, guys. Bye!